This is the outside. I know it looks kind of crooked and a little weird. I did this with like paint markers, 2 different brands, and I mean, they worked okay on the leather. I just didn't anticipate it being that much to fill up. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll just go over it with gems and add gems, and that looks gross. So it's a freaky kitty, but that's okay because I'm a freaky kitty too. What's on the other side? Ah, just that, a sticker. Let's see what's inside. First, we flip it open. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word shard on here, but that's what it is. Welcome to Mount Shard, population 666. And it's a volcano that's erupted on a toilet roll. And this was made when I was super sick, and you know what kind of sick, judging by this. I did this with like watercolor paints and like metallic markers I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I did like some pen to line it all too. I actually really love this. This is like one of the pieces I'm the most proud of because it's like so creative and like funny and weird. Okay, yeah, I had to cover this up with sticky notes because there was something not allowed on YouTube going through his head. But as you can see, there's a hole in his head and something's going through it. This is just like a scary guy I made. I don't know. Initially, I think this was something else, and then I kind of gave up, and now it's this. He has a little cross necklace, but also like a clown thing going on, and clown face paint. The white is white gouache, and then everything else is acrylic, or no, not acrylic. Everything else is watercolor and black pen. Kind of symbolic, open to your interpretation for sure. Okay, yeah, as I was saying, this is like inspired by my struggles with consistent ingrown toenails and going to the doctor for them. Even the spider's upset, some stuff's unplugged, we got a wormhole, a nail file, a band-aid, some sweaty, stinky, drippy feet, cheese. Okay, here's a better look at Clown Guy because he does have metallic goo on him. And yeah, there's that page. This is made with marker and watercolor paint and yeah, and paint markers as usual. And I even put the date that I drew this. I actually drew the picture of her from observation, like the pencil sketch that's under this, and then I went over it with marker and stuff. So yeah, there's that spread. The next page is this cute little orange cake I painted with watercolor, and this was based off of some like Jello recipe book I found. And then this little orange is kind of inspired by, you know, those little mandarins that are called halos? Yeah, by that. So it's like, you know, he's going to heaven. He's got a halo. And then there's like little oranges in the clouds. And yeah. And I wrote orange in Spanish because I was like, I don't know, maybe it'll help me learn. Even though I think I got the colors down. Here's the next spread. This was something else before, but I didn't like it, so I covered it up with magazine clippings, and yeah, I was just really frustrated this day, as you can tell, but at least I got it out. And then this page is more abstract. I did this with like metallic watercolor paints, and I was just like practicing different shapes that I thought were cool. I really like this shape here. It kind of reminds me of those like old spiky like rubbery earrings. Okay, this side here I was just doing some single line tattoos, practicing some ideas that I had. And that's all. This is marker, by the way, I forgot to mention. This side is all marker. And then this side is, I think, the first time I tried gouache. Yeah, I believe this is the first time I tried out gouache. And then I ended up going over it with like metallic markers too. And yeah. Initially this was a picture of a Wendy's, and then I scrapped that idea because I couldn't make it look like a Wendy's, so I just made it a building on fire with a cool window. And I love it. This is another spread I'm so proud of. I started drawing this one when I was working at a club, and they had an ATM machine there, and they had like a, you know, what is that called? Like a gambling type. What are those things called? You know, those little machines? I don't know. So I drew the machines from reference, and then I kind of filled in the rest just because, I don't know, for fun. I love this, like, I don't know. There's like a little smile. There's like a flag on it. Even the wall socket is saying "Fill me." And like this deathly smoke. Real. Even the ATM got hands to grab your money from you. And then this side was just some chairs that I thought would be cool if they existed. I don't know that they do, but they might. These are all watercolor and black pen, by the way. And then white for the highlights is Posca marker. Except it's not Posca. It's like acrylic paint pen. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I would sit in all of these. I kind of just wanted to do whatever I wanted and not really have an idea. And I feel like it came out pretty cool. We got like these strawberry cacti, some Easter eggs, a worm, this brown telephone, a red door with a 24 on it. I think I was 24 years old when I made this sketchbook, so that adds up. A curtain rod and a curtain, some fish, a cookie with a bite out of it and an eye. That's pretty random, and I like random sometimes. And then over here is my cat Soup. Isn't he so cute? I don't know why he doesn't have pupils, but I do like his fur. I did his fur with acrylic paint pens and then everything else. The base of all of these are watercolor because this is a watercolor sketchbook. That's what the paper is made for. But yeah, I think he looks adorable. I feel like I forgot to sign him though. Okay, here's another good spread. We have this like random abstract like shades of green. This is all watercolor again. I don't know, kind of moody. Just trying to get in the habit of like not caring and like not having a plan, but just like painting to paint. And then this side, I had a vision of this rabbit, this bunny rabbit, eating a scared carrot. Look how scared he is. And I like that the rabbit kind of looks like it's got rabies or something, but it's got carrot juice all over his hands. Well, all over his paws. Some buck teeth. He even has a piercing. That's how cool he is. Yeah. I need to draw more stuff like this, or paint more stuff like this. I just love it. Ooh, this is another good spread. We have Elmer as a butterfly, and we have some happy people parachuting. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this one. Again, this all watercolor, and then the shiny bits are metallic markers from the dollar store. This side's watercolor and water-soluble pastels for the clouds. And, you know, pen to outline, of course. I really like these. I actually got a compliment about this one out in public when I was doing it with my friend Raya. We were at Collectivo, and this old lady came up to me and said something about how she really liked it. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was nice. Okay, here's another good spread. These houses I sketched out when I was on a walk around my neighborhood. And then I finished this way after the fact. Like, it took me a long time to actually finish it. A lot of it's improvised, but that's okay. It looks cute. There's a sunset in the background and cute bushes with roses in them. And then this side is just some cool flowers I dreamt up in my brain. I don't like that things are transferring from page to page. As you can see, like, you see this color? That's definitely from here. So I don't know why that's happening. I need to start putting like wax paper in between all of my artwork so that doesn't happen anymore. Anyways, this side here is just watercolor and black pen to outline. But yeah. And I was really frustrated with like my health and like going to the doctor all the time during this. So actually no, at first this was going to be a self-portrait, and then I looked like Shrek. So I put a leaf over my face. And yeah, look, I got a bone sticking out of my arm even. Isn't that cool? Pretty cool. And then this side is literally inspired by a day I had where I went to an art fair with my mom and my littlest niece, and yeah, it was super fun. We did a lot of other stuff. So there's like the art fair wristbands. We saw fireflies in the front yard and held them and captured them and let them go. We saw a captured chipmunk in a trap, and it was so scary and I screamed, but he was still cute, so I drew him from observation. These were my mom's earrings she was wearing that day. And then these, me and my littlest niece made at the art festival because they had like little activities for kids. So she made a cool cat and I made this devil guy out of like that clay that you can sculpt, and it's not air dry. It's like, I don't know, it's different. And then this is a helicopter candy thing that I bought for her when we went to the gas station. And then there's a donut because at the end of our weekend we went to Krispy Kreme. And yeah, I need to do more stuff like this that like shows like a story. I really like that. I think I was painting with gouache, practicing with gouache. Actually, both of these are with gouache. This cow too is just 100% gouache, and it's based off a real cow that I saw at the zoo. I can't remember what her name was, but isn't she cute? She was curly like this. It might have been a boy. Actually, I think if it has horns, it's a boy. But that's okay. He can be whatever he wants. I don't care. And yeah, I like the grass. Just like experimenting with gouache. This is gouache, the background, and then the circles, like the purple part here is with pen I did. Each circle is like different. You know, some of it's marker, some of it's gouache, whatever. Here's another good spread, mostly because I love these goats. This was also inspired by that time I went to the zoo. No, none of them were blue, but they did have really creepy eyes, and I liked them. And funny looking tongues. The little circles are like the little pellets that you feed them when you're there. I don't know, I really like all the tiny little hairs on these guys. I did that with paint pens. Oh, and the background is like all gold from like this metallic marker I have. The side's kind of random. It's a lot of marker on top of watercolor that went wrong. I kind of wanted this to look like a little portal with like flowers on the side here. And just like random shapes and like squiggles and stuff. This kind of looks like a fire, which, I mean, that's cool, I guess. Here is a cat mermaid that I've wanted to paint for a long time. And I'm really happy with how this came out. I love my signature down here at the bottom. It says glow in a star. Again, this is watercolor with paint pens on top of it. And little fishies look like they're sleeping. They might be, I don't know. And then there's a moon kissing the cat mermaid, because why not? This is supposed to be a whale in the background. I don't know, I'm just like pretty proud of myself. This came out awesome. I need to make art more. I haven't made art in so long. And this is just like random playing with watercolor and tape. I like put tape down and then painted the background, and then I wrote this in recently that says I'm loved because, I don't know, I thought it needed something. I don't even know how to describe this spread. It's interesting. This is not even finished. It was gonna be like, I have trichotillomania, so I'm not currently pulling, but I have pulled most of my life, my hair out. So I was like inspired by like the way it looks, you know, like the different shapes and like textures that really intrigued me into pulling. And then this was gonna be tweezers, but I don't like how this came out. It looks weird. This I think is pretty cool. It was just inspired by how bad my ADHD be sometimes, that like I've grown some crazy looking mold in this house before. In many houses. Everywhere I go, I just be growing it. So this is supposed to be like a close-up of like, oh, the cereal bowl that you left in the sink, or like, see, this cup is even spilled and no one cleaned it up because they forgot. Like, damn. This page I can't show, definitely not on YouTube or probably anywhere, but it's a bunch of tweezers and other things. Again, based on trichotillomania. It's not finished either. This is where things like slowly start going downhill, where I didn't finish it because I just like lost steam. This was gonna be a birdhouse next to this tree. I did this with water-soluble pastels and then never did it again. So, yeah. Here is another unfinished spread. I think the rest of this book is unfinished. Yeah, these are gonna be books and like save funny names for the titles, but I never did that. This is inspired by a true experience where I had my arm like spliced open in urgent care. and it didn't look exactly like that. It kind of did though. It kind of did look like that. There's people staring because I'm screaming in pain, and a scalpel. I should really finish this because it's pretty cool. But yeah, this watercolor, and no, it's not finished. Okay, here's a finished spread. I lied. This I drew from observation when we went with our sketching group out in nature. And yeah, I don't know. Just a tree and a trash can. This is abstract, and just to get me out of the habit of like, you know, being so like self-critical and just like making stuff to make it because it looks cool. And I like lines, and I like shapes, and I like colors. This is kind of an unfinished spread. This side is finished. Technically, I don't love it. It's inspired by my old job where I worked at a bar or a club or whatever you'd like to call it. There's little tiny limes back there, and cherries, and a credit card, and a tip jar. I like all the little tiny things. And then those are probably my heels on stage, and a spider web because that's how dead it be sometimes. But I'm out of there now, so that's good. It honestly is very nice and cathartic to see this art after being out of that place. This is just cool underwater animals. I need to give them eyes though because they look so scary. This was all done with water-soluble pastels and then paint markers on top of it, and didn't come out how I thought it would, so that's sad, but oh, no, frick it. Another kind of random one that's not finished. I sketched from observation with my mom in Racine, looking at the water and the rocks, and then this is like more tattoos I had planned to do, and like just like cool stuff I thought that would be nice on my body forever. Oh, okay, I lied. I guess there is some good ones still in here because this is like one of my favorite things I've ever made in my life. I love that it's rainbow. It's like, actually this was inspired by Chicago. I drew some of the buildings on the way home from Chicago one time. This is all done with water-soluble pastels and went over with a marker. Not a marker, a pen. And this I drew from real life too, from this coffee shop when I was with the sketching club me and my mom are in, and it was raining this day, so we had to sit at a coffee shop, but they had like outdoor seating that was covered, so yeah. Pretty cool. Oh, and I put paint pen over top on this one at least. This one is all Caran d'Ache water-soluble pastels. Okay, this I hate. I hate that. This was going to be a really cute spread. I should have just stuck to watercolor or pastels like I'm used to, but this is these two like these two toys that my mom's dog loves to chew on, so it was going to be like she's thinking about it. But then I was like, let me try doing colored pencil. I've never really done that like for something like this, and she looks so creepy. Like, why would I do that to her? So yeah. I don't know. That's a regret. We live and we learn. Sketching is about making mistakes. And then bam, last page is some giraffes that I drew with my little niece. And we didn't finish these either. But that's okay. They still look nice in their unfinished state. She put lettuce in his mouth. And then wrote with an arrow next to it that it is lettuce so that you know. Anyways, pretty unique. Oh, and a bow on the tail. She told me to put that there. So yeah, that's my sketchbook. I put some stickers here. Okay, anyways, bye. I hope you liked watching that. I will post more sketchbook tours in the future, but I have to sketch more because I don't think I actually have another sketchbook filled. Well, I do, but not like worthy. Let me get out of that mindset. I do have a lot of sketchbooks filled that I will show you. And yeah, they are a little sketchy, but that's why it's called a sketchbook. Anyways, bye.